Hello, everyone. Well, there is going to be some rain Saturday and Sunday in Nebraska, but not today. We're just talking about sunny skies across the state, and for many of us, some very comfortable temperatures. Look at all the folks that are going to reach the upper 60s, low 70s today. Do have to mention, though, as you go to the north and west, not quite as warm. Notice mid 60s, low 60s, and then the real exception in the far northwestern part of the state. How about a high of just 53 in Chadron today? All right, now let's also talk about wind. And what I'm highlighting with these wind icons, Broken Bow, Norfolk, Columbus, Grand Island, Kearney, McCook, in this area, wind gusts could reach as high as 35 miles per hour. So definitely got to call it windy. Everywhere else where you're not seeing those wind icons, not quite as windy, but the wind will still be noticeable. I think for Omaha, Lincoln, Beatrice, the biggest gust we'll see is up to 30 miles per hour. And actually, the weakest winds are going to be over in the Panhandle. I don't think gusts are going to get any higher than 25 miles per hour out there. So normally, I mean, we've certainly seen winds stronger than this in Nebraska. So normally we would probably be saying, well, that's the big deal, right? Well, unfortunately, we're getting these windy conditions with very low humidity and the ongoing drought in the state. And so that's why we have a red flag warning for much of the state. And again, sometimes this confuses people. What does red flag warning mean? Well, another way to think about it, in fact, sometimes the alternative name for this is fire weather warning. And really what we're highlighting, technically there's a chance of wildfires anywhere in the state because, again, conditions are pretty similar across the state. But what we're highlighting with this red flag warning is where we're going to have the combination of the lowest humidity, the strongest winds, and the worst drought conditions. So yes, included in this red flag warning, North Platte, Kearney, Grand Island, Columbus, Lincoln. Notice Omaha not included, Scotts Bluff not included, but keep in mind there's still a chance for wildfires there as well. We're just highlighting with this red flag warning where the chance is highest. And so let's try to avoid dealing with these brush fires, wildfires today. The red flag warning in effect from 1 o'clock this afternoon until 8 o'clock this evening, just highlighting mainly when it's going to be the windiest across the state. And the big takeaway is, preventing these wildfires, brush fires, no outdoor burning today. Make sure any smoking materials are properly disposed of. And just to be on the safe side, don't even park your vehicle in any grassy spots because sometimes just the high heat on the underside of a vehicle can be enough with these dangerous fire conditions to spark a little brush fire. And again, the thing is, if a brush fire was to start today, it would spread very easily with the drought conditions, the low humidity, and the windy conditions. Now, the reason why the red flag warning ends at 8 o'clock is because the winds are going to die down tonight. Now, still highlighting in the central part of the state where winds are going to be the strongest, but we're only talking about winds around 15 miles per hour. And, around Lincoln, Omaha area, winds are only around 10 miles per hour. And over in the Panhandle tonight, winds around 5 miles per hour. So no wind chill factor to worry about. And I do think for much of the night, just clear skies. I think finally late tonight, a few clouds will start to stream in to the Panhandle. And we're talking about low temperatures. A lot of us upper 30s, low 40s, but notice still a little bit colder as you go to the north and west. Now, for Saturday, I think the vast majority of Saturday is going to be dry. I don't see a rain chance beginning in the Panhandle until 6 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Now, there's still going to be wind around tomorrow, but it doesn't look quite as windy as today. I think the biggest gusts are going to be 30 miles per hour, still highlighting mainly the central part of the state. Notice gusts around 25, Lincoln and Omaha, and breezy gusts around 20 in the Panhandle. So noticeable wind, but everywhere I think just a little bit less, by about 5 miles per hour or so for tomorrow. And notice that for a lot of us, temperatures continue to climb. Look at all the mid 70s showing up late afternoon tomorrow, maybe some upper 70s, and improvement in the Panhandle as well, even there, reaching the upper 60s. It's still low humidity tomorrow, but I do think the humidity is going to be a little bit higher, so I do have to mention we might see another red flag warning for tomorrow. I just don't think as many places will be included because the winds are going to be a little bit lighter and the humidity is going to be a little bit higher. With this rain chance coming in, so now let's track the rain. Again, beginning around 6 o'clock in the afternoon in the Panhandle. But now we're taking a look at 9 o'clock and, maybe reaching places like, Valentine, Mullen, North Platte. But I still think everybody else are going to be dry. Notice we're not talking about a lot of rain. This is as a little wave of low pressure works over the state. And then it looks like it's going to stall out temporarily in the eastern part of the state. Not a cold front, just a little wave of low pressure. So that's why we're not going to see a big change in temperatures. Look at midnight. Finally, late Saturday night, I'll start to mention some stray showers in the central part of the state, but I still think completely dry in the eastern part of the state. So now let's talk about Easter morning, as the kids very anxiously want to run outside and start looking for any hidden eggs. Well, we're looking at 7 a.m. Sunday morning, and now I've got to begin the rain chance in the eastern part of the state with this little wave of low pressure finally making it there, but then kind of just stalling out throughout the day on Sunday. But this is not a strong area of low pressure that we're talking about, just a weak area of low pressure. So we're not talking about widespread rain, but I got to keep the chance in there, particularly for central and eastern Nebraska. I think probably Easter Sunday completely dry. Over in the panhandle, but isolated showers. Really, it looks like throughout the day on Sunday, because here's 7 a.m., here's 11 a.m., and if I had to pick a sweet spot, the most likely place to see rain, I'm thinking places like Sioux City, Norfolk, Columbus, Grand Island is where this little wave of low pressure is going to stall out, so you have the best chance, but an opportunity west and east of this little wave as well, because look what happens when we go into the afternoon hours. Here's 3 o'clock. Do have to mention the chances there for rain as well in Omaha, Lincoln, Beatrice. But again, just even where we have that best chance of rain, we're not talking about a washout of a Easter Sunday. And it looks like the winds are really dropping in the central part of the state. I mean, we're just talking about a light breeze, gusts around 15 miles per hour, panhandle, and the central part of the state. Still on the breezy side, Columbus, Lincoln, Omaha, gust 20, 25 miles per hour. And now we're looking at 7 o'clock in the evening, Easter Sunday, and yeah, the chance for isolated showers and maybe a couple of thunderstorms. Do have to mention that is a possibility for Easter Sunday as well. Notice the chance continues. And I really got to keep the chance in there for isolated activity, particularly, especially Sunday night in the eastern part of the state. Isolated activity will continue maybe into early Monday morning, but I do think by late Monday morning, chance of rain going away.